Guys, welcome to Box Football, and I'm lost for words because what we've just witnessed is not just, in my opinion, the greatest final I've ever seen. People may differ there, but Jack said it. Arguably, the greatest moment in the history of football we've just seen. And I'm in the intro of what happened. God, you should know what happened. Argentina just won the World Cup, and I don't know what to say because there's so many subplots to this whole argument here, Jack. We can talk about the match. The match itself can be a whole podcast, but the stories around the match and the outcomes that came out of this match is something that we can talk about beyond. Like, Jack, I don't know. Where do you want to start off with here?
Yeah, like, well. First of all, I think you've said it there. The only match I can think of that I think is comparable to that is 2005, Milan against Liverpool. Again, that to me is my number one ranking as the greatest football match of all time. But I think this comes at very, very close, and that doesn't even include, like you say, all the other factors surrounding it. And I think the things surrounding it. I mean, we need to look no further than Lionel Messi cementing his legacy as the greatest footballer of all time. Again, I don't. When I said it, I kind of, when I said I think it's the biggest moment in the history of the sport, I kind of thought, oh my God, am I being a bit rash there? And I think to myself, is it the most talented player I think we've ever seen? Yeah. Is it somebody who I think anybody who doesn't believe that he's the greatest ever has been critical of the fact that he'd only done it under one team, under one manager in certain situations, all this kind of stuff? Well, yeah. And then I think you actually look at this like perfect melting pot of what this person has been able to achieve in the biggest moment, being a big part of it, there is no debate anymore. This is the grandest stage. This is the best player to ever do it. He's performed in the final as, in my opinion, an underdog. I don't know what the betting favourites were before the game.
I think he was slight underdog. But
yeah,
guys,
so there you go. They're underdogs in the final. I don't know what else you can say. Any Ronaldo GOAT people out there anymore? I look. You come talk to any football fan worth their salt, and they'll put you in the ground.
Guys, do you know how significant this is? Because if you've watched this channel since the start, Jack has maintained that Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest football player of all time. And today, at this moment, it's coming to 7:00. Yeah, Jack has said it. Lionel Messi is the greatest football player of all time. And here's a man who said it for numerous years. Cristiano Ronaldo is the GOAT. If I need a big moment, I turn to Ronaldo. Jack has maintained now that Messi is the greatest player of all time. But Jack, Jack, not only does Messi cement himself, is my opinion, the greatest football player of all time, I think Messi could possibly be the greatest athlete of all time in any sport. Jack, you look at the resume for every all-time great. People can point in things that Michael Jordan didn't do, point in things that LeBron James didn't do, that Roger Federer or Novak
Phelps, Mayweather, Serena, right.
Like he ducked this and that. There is nothing that you can point at that Messi has not done. He has completed the game of football, which is the most remarkable thing that you can say.
I still maintain there's one blemish. The one blemish is a Champions League with another club. James, he's in a pretty good position to do that this year. He's in a pretty good position to do that next year. And he's done all the hard bits. The hard bits he's done. It's the easy stuff that you have to do now. Ronaldo, this is the main thing. Messi and Ronaldo were a clear step above anywhere else, right? Of course they were. And this is why I think we'll talk about this in the future. Mbappe's done the hard stuff early. That's kind of scary. We'll get to that.
We'll get to him.
Messi's just done the hard bit. Ronaldo at the age of, 37, still has the hard bit to do. And he's going to have to do that when he's 41. I don't think that's going to happen. Messi's done the hard bit. It's over. The talent, it wasn't even close. The talent wasn't even close. It was always Messi. But Ronaldo was able to do it when it mattered most. He was able to do it in crunch time. And James, here we are in the final. He scored 2 goals. Again, James, and as well, I don't know about you. If you and me were to sit here and do a combined 11 for France and Argentina, I'm taking 2 Argentinian players, I think. That's probably it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's probably it. Maybe 3 at a push. Messi had, again, it's the underdog performance of a lifetime. He came up clutch when it mattered most. And again, it's the most talented player showing who he is, puffing his chest out. And again, guys, I'm not this kind of blind football fan. The moment new information comes available to me, I'm going to change my tune. Lionel Messi has won a World Cup, and he was the player of the tournament in my view. He was the best player on the team that won it. That's for damn sure. And again, the talent speaks for itself. You know, this is when I say it's the biggest moment in the history of the sport, I don't say that lightly. I say that, you know, with a lot of thought after it. I really do.
Listen, it's beyond amazing. Just to me, the images that has been able to maintain throughout this World Cup, especially Jack in the final when he scored that third goal, Jack, and seeing all the Argentina, it felt like it was over. Obviously, Mbappe and France had something to say, but that image was beautiful. Di Maria tears, you know,
James,
at the end.
James, the first goal, you could tell what was going through his head. What was the celebration? The celebration was a man who didn't know what to do. The celebration was a man who went, "Oh my God, I want to celebrate and I want to be like, I want to like enjoy the moment, but I want to win though." So what does he do? He does kind of a weird fist bump. He slides way before the corner. The team comes around, is like, yeah. And he's like, like he doesn't know what to do with himself. He does not know what to do with himself. James, Ronaldo would have had like a planned celebration and it would have been a whole thing, right? It meant so much to him that we saw a human moment from him multiple times throughout the game. It was really a thing of beauty. I don't know about you. I was in the moment that Emmy said, I was in tears. It was mad.
Let me just bring a little subplot to Messi and how guys, I don't think you understand how tough sport is. I hate when people think, oh, he has to do this, he has to do that. Sport is about the big highs and the really, really bad lows. You get both. You get the highs of the highs and then the lows of the lows.
And how you deal with both.
Exactly. And Messi, Jack, has been through it. Think about it. He's lost, 3 Copa America finals with Argentina, a World Cup final. This guy retired from international football because he was done with the heartbreak. He was done with the fact that Argentina fans didn't recognize his greatness. All they talk about was
Champions League quarters, Champions League semis, Champions League, like he's been there.
Like he's been there with the heartache, but mainly speaking on what he's done with Argentina, Jack. It was a thing of, you are not Diego, you are not Argentina. In fact, you're more Catalan, you're more Spanish than Argentina. He's been through all that, missed penalties. But the fact that he came back, Jack, he went through the person, he went through the heartache and won the Copa America. And we talked about how much of an incredible moment that was. Jack, he had a chance to win a World Cup. And not only did he go there, Jack, he delivered. Like, you talk about writing a story, like an actual fairy tale Disney Channel story.
We're wrestling fans. I don't think we could write it this good.
Vince McMahon was like,
dude, Paul Heyman can write this.
Listen,
seriously, it's true.
It's beyond incredible. The stuff, like how many images you see with him, Argentina, disappointment.
And you know, the other thing that makes me just feel crazy. Every hero in the story is made better by how good the villain is. How good a villain, how good a counterpart is Cristiano Ronaldo. James, Lionel Messi has had to overcome the status of what Cristiano Ronaldo is. And James, he's done it. Like I say this very, very seriously. Up until today, I was Ronaldo. And again, it's this close. I think now we've got Messi by like a bit of a margin. But prior to this, it was this close between the two of them. Guys, he's been able to come one of the most... I mean, I don't have enough words to describe Ronaldo's determination of greatness. I mean, the only person I can compare it to is Michael Jordan. Seriously. And Ronaldo, that there's a certain level of narcissism there and just self-love that I just don't think many people share.
Jack, you know, it would have been cool, I said, to get that Messi and Ronaldo World Cup final. That would have been... This broke the internet, but that one would have took it to a different level. But, Jack, as great as Messi was, let's talk about the other guy standing on the other side. And what a guy that, first of all, I need to do this. Mbappe, ah, Kili. Jack, he is that guy. He is that guy that, whatever you want to call him, he is it. Like, for you to have Jack, he scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final, man. Jack, he's 23. He has 12 World Cup goals, and he got like 2 to 3 World Cups left in him.
That hat trick that you just talked about, the other two guys we've been talking about this video haven't done. We talked about the fact that it's the hardest thing to do. Ronaldo's not done it. Messi's done it at a ripe old age. Guys, Kylian Mbappe already has a World Cup. And he was 19 when he got that. He's got more opportunities. He's got more this. He's got more. As much as we want to talk about the legacy of somebody who's slowly fading into the back nine of their career, we need to talk about the guy who's on the second hole of his career, who's doing special things and is going to bring in this new generation and how brilliant he was. And again, I want to shine 90% of the light on Lionel Messi. And to me, who is the greatest footballer to ever play and the most participated in, most loved sport in the world. But guys, we can't not talk about Kylian Mbappe's performance, not over the World Cup, but just this game alone. Unbelievable.
Jack, not many times.
Guys, France weren't in this game for the vast majority of it, and then they just snapped into life courtesy of one person.
But Jack, not many times a player could play a final and come out as a winner. And it's weird for me to say it because, of course, like France didn't win and he's leaving with a loser's medal. But Mbappe came out a winner in a weird way. Like, people are not thinking, oh, Mbappe lost. No, it's like, wow, what a performance. You know, little things like people talking about, oh, Harry Kane, how can he take the second penalty? Mbappe took 3 penalties in a game. He put the ball in the same corner each time and scored. Yeah, I know Emi Martinez could have done better for a 2. I mean, he got hands to it. But he still had the gall, the cojones to step up, and he did it every single time. Big up to him for that. That's not easy.
And James, something we can't lose track of, I don't think, is we're talking about this now. You and I could be 35, 40, and we could be talking about the career and the comparison between Kylian Mbappe to Lionel Messi or Kylian Mbappe to Ronaldo, right? We could be doing that. This will be a key cornerstone of this person's career. And again, I don't think it can be overlooked. It's a loss. Of course it's a loss, but it's back-to-back finals. It's winning one of them. It's a hat trick in the other one of them. I can think of plenty of France players who should have pulled their socks up and done him a favor and tried to do it. But again, I want to shine more light on the winners. James, I'm so happy for Angel Di Maria.
Oh,
my
Jack,
God,
listen,
am I happy for Angel Di Maria?
Like, big up. So Angel Di Maria, you mentioned it right there. He didn't play in like 2014, but Jack, every big moment you talk about for Argentina, Jack, he's been there. When Argentina needed to be successful, he scored the winning goal in the Copa America final. And another thing for me with Angel Di Maria is that he's a world-class football player. People who say he isn't, I don't know about you. But how unselfish is he, Jack? The guy, he'll do anything you want him to do, to track back, work hard for his fullback. Let's say lose a bit of his offensive talent to help the team. He'll do that. I forgot to mention 2014 Real Madrid. He was man of the match.
The only reason, and supposedly, I don't know if this is strictly true, but supposedly the only reason he was sold to Manchester United is because he was not attractive enough to be a Galactico. And James, again, I don't do this lightly, but Frank Ribery, Ian Robin, that seems to be like pretty good company for me with Angel Di Maria. He's Jack, right up with those guys. He might be number 1 with those 3.
Jack, put him in there. Ian Robin, put him in there. Yeah. Bale, put him in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Angel Di Maria is in that conversation. 100%. We need to speak. Listen. Oh,
and James, his failure with Manchester United, he was really good that season. British media, British press, you do whatever you want. I remember a guy who I think it was like 3 or 4 goals, 8, 9 assists. Like, this was a guy who, in a really bad team with Louis van Gaal, was a great player. Yeah. And again, James, I was talking to people at the pub about this as well. Wingers in their prime, if you're fullback, Angel Di Maria is number 1 or number 2 of least people. Like, after Lionel Messi, Angel Di Maria might be number 2 of people who I want to play against least.
Jack, you don't want to see Di Maria, but
no, can you imagine?
Here. Jack, a number of players that I need to mention from this Argentina team. Emi Martinez, Jack. As soon as it went to penalties, I can even show you the text right now to my friend. I told him Argentina are winning. Let me see if I can pull it up right now.
The moment penalties were on the table, it's not quite clear, but the moment penalties were on the table, James, there was a team that had it. And I think, I need to check this, but I'm going to say it anyway, so it's on record, so I can look like an idiot if it's not true. James, I think since Hugo Lloris has entered the Premier League, I don't think there's a goalkeeper with a worse penalty save percentage than Hugo Lloris in the Premier League.
Jack, you think about what Emi Martinez has been able to do with him. I think 3 to 4 penalty shootouts with Argentina. He's in goal. They've won them all. Yeah? Jack, people talk about the penalty stuff. I'll give him credit for that. But that save at the death.
With his left foot.
Jack, that is as clutch as you can get. And to think where he was with Arsenal, he wasn't, Jack, he was second choice. And out of nowhere, Jack, he's a top 15 James, goalkeeper in the world.
I know you're more of a attack-minded midfielder, attacking midfielder type player. But speaking as throughout my youth and my career, if we can even call it that as a footballer, I was more like, fullback, a little bit holding midfield here and there, but fullback, centre back, that was my kind of area. James, that's a goal. I'm telling you, my reaction to my goalkeeper making a save like that is goal level reactions. Because you have to understand, that's the difference in the game. If that goes in, it's the exact same as your team scoring a goal. It's the exact same impact across the game. That 100%. Is huge. That is monumental. That is monumental.
To me, also, Jack, at the time, that if that goal goes in, Argentina have seconds to score. It's not like there was, Jack, it was it.
And again, James, what I will say as well, as goalkeepers go, he's the perfect example of the baseline for a goalkeeper is let the penalty scorer score.
Mm-hmm.
The odds are in your favor as the penalty taker. Of course you should score. So what does he do? He takes risks. He'll be off his line. Retake it. I don't care. Your chances of scoring a retaken penalty are even less than they were to score originally.
Jack,
he does not give a damn. That's what makes him so dangerous.
It makes him so, Jack, even for the Tchouaméni, when Tchouaméni hits it wide, but the reason why that all might have happened was he got the ball, Jack. He threw it to the side for Tchouaméni to go get it. It's a psychological battle with him. You remember at Old Trafford when he had him and Bruno were going back and forward, and Bruno ended up blasting over. But it was because of Emi Martinez, just the way he gets into keepers' heads. Strikers' heads. He's like a serious problem as a goalkeeper, and big up to him.
Just tactical side of the game very quickly. As much as I know we want our raw reactions to what's happened in the game. Deschamps messed up. Argentina had, to me, the better go of things. It was the better call, tactically speaking, in the game. It was the better call. It's why they were up 2 goals early. Again, I think it was the Marcos Acuna. We talked about this off camera. I hated that substitution. I thought that was terrible. And again, they were waiting for France to come back into the game. They let them do that. I don't think that was the smart decision. But again, for the first 60-ish minutes of the football match, I think that Argentina had France just straight up beaten. And again, I hated this in British commentary. Anybody watching, I'm sure you watched on for other languages, Spanish, French, Italian, whatever. I'm telling you now, British commentary would not shut up about the lack of availability of players for French teams. Guys, I'm sorry. N'Golo Kante's fit, Paul Pogba's fit. They don't start. Tchouaméni, Eduardo Camavinga, they don't start. Kante and Pogba don't start if you've got those 2 guys available. I'm just putting it out there. Benzema would play. Again, it's no excuse in my book. It's absolutely no excuse. Argentina tactically outmaneuvered the game. They played the game the better way. It was a couple lapses of concentration across the board that made it equal. But for me, it's a well-deserved tactical all-round performance for Argentina to win the game.
But Jack, to me, for 70-odd minutes, I'll give that to you from the point of view of Argentina outdone France. From the point of view, Jack, started the game, there's a lot of rumors about the French team's health from the point of view of the illness stuff going on. A lot of the players went down with a bug, and some of it might have been COVID. Apparently, so that kind of looked like it was happening because the players didn't look up for it. And to me, the big thing for Argentina was the point of view that they brought Di Maria back into the game, and that gave them a third attacking option for a second attacking option for Lionel Messi. I think the fact that they also had the 3 in the middle and Messi dropping in there to make it a 4 against France's 3 really kind of discombobulated in France, made it hard for them to get on the ball. They were able to overload them in the middle, and on the flanks, Jack, they absolutely killed them. But
James, again, sorry to cut you off. Jules Koundé is a centre back. Didier Deschamps. Newsflash: Jules Koundé is a centre back. You got Angel Di Maria. I don't care how old he is. Angel Di Maria will have Jules Koundé on toast every day of the week. World Cup final, Champions League, you name it, league match, it does not matter. That was a flub on his part. I can't think off the top of my head, but I can think of plenty of French decent level of fullbacks who would have done a better job against Angel Di Maria than the centre back Jules Koundé. That was maddening to me. The whole tournament, Jules Koundé playing right back made no sense to me.
But I felt he played well. But to me, the biggest thing, the thing I have to point out here was, yes, you could say he got it wrong, but he picked the same team that he's picked the majority of the tournament.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And has brought him in the whole way. But as much as you say he got it wrong, he also got it right at the same time. Because managers only have a short period of time in a football match to impact it. Yeah?
Right.
He realized that, Dembele's having a sinker. And Jack, he didn't wait. Took him off straight away. I'm sorry. I'm not here to play games. Giroud wasn't feeling too well. Took him off straight away. He could have waited to the 50, 60 minute or let it dry out. No. Also, he made a big call, taking off arguably the player of the tournament in Antoine Griezmann. And Jack, the players that came on, especially Camavinga and also Kulu and Thuram, they all made a big difference, impact in that game. So as much as you say he got it wrong from certain tactics in the first half, second half with the substitutions he made, he got it.
They were big, but right. Also the other person I talk about as well. And again, I know, like I've said this before on this channel, James, Hernandez, club football wise, is probably the best left back in world football. And you might go, what are you talking about?
Oh, Jack, he's incredible.
For France, he plays scared. He plays within himself. He plays scared. The Theo Hernandez who we saw at the World Cup this year is not the guy who plays for AC Milan.
But Jack,
he's not the guy.
For me, he was the fullback of, I think, the left back for the tournament. Jack, he was top 5 in like chances created in this World Cup.
But again, all of this stuff, including Deschamps and his decisions and all this kind of stuff, it's again, what am I going to say? I'm going to talk about environment. James, Theo Hernandez for Milan and Theo Hernandez as the guy who played in this World Cup team for this France squad are not the same player. Are not the same player at all. He plays within himself. He plays scared. I don't like what I saw. The only reason he was even playing was because of injury. And again, for a player of his caliber and his talent, he should be starting. It shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah, but for me, I get you from the point of view. He was better than his brother, so he should have been starting. And anyway, but I felt he had a good World Cup. I just feel today, Jack, for 70 odd minutes.
It's not the standard I expect to see, I guess my point.
I get you, but 70 odd minutes, Jack, you couldn't pick a France player who played well. And you put your hands up there, not one. But the thing about it is that the substitutions came on, they made a huge difference. The fact that Mbappe went to striker and it just went to life. You know, people ask me what changes games. The biggest thing that changes games to me is goals. They got the penalty, Jack, and then everything kind of went to raptures, you know?
But James as well, and if rumours are to be believed, why did Kylian Mbappe not go to Real Madrid this past summer? They picked Benzema ahead of him. What does Kylian Mbappe want? He doesn't want to be the inside forward left wing, but he wants to be number 9 for Los Blancos. That's what he wants. So again, this is just going to help his case going into when he signs for Real Madrid inevitably at some point. He's going to point to a World Cup final. He's going to go, yeah, you see when we were playing really badly and Ousmane Dembele and Giroud, like, remember when we went to number 9 and I scored a hat trick and it was actually like, it's all going to go towards his case of being that number 9 player, of getting there as early as he can.
I mean, what France were able to do, Jack, in that sort of time to make a contest after them being outplayed for 17 minutes, it's hats off to them. I look at a player like Camavinga. He must look at himself in the mirror and say, surely I'm better than playing on the bench. Because Jack, every time this guy comes on the football field, Jack, I don't know what it is. Jack, Real Madrid in that Champions League run, every time he came on the football field, there was a change. They were down against Chelsea. They were down against Man City. They were down against Paris Saint-Germain. He came on, changed. Same here
every
today.
time an England fan, and I love Jude Bellingham. Don't get it twisted. I love Jude Bellingham. I think he is a superstar. I think he's going to be a top 5 central midfielder in the world for the next 10 years. When people were telling me, if we can just get past Bleu, we could beat France. And I want to be like, you know, our best player the whole tournament? France have got a guy on their bench who's better in my opinion, than he is, and that's Eduardo Camavinga. I would still, to this day, take Eduardo Camavinga over Jude Bellingham.
Jack,
Forget Tchouaméni, seriously, we need to talk about the quality off the bench for these guys. Again, guys, Olivier Giroud is a good player. Great player, maybe, right? Look at his goal record, absolutely. But again, in terms of quality, if you're talking about the best 11 players on the pitch, and again, football isn't the best 11 players you can put out there versus the best 11 players. I'm just telling you that the people that weren't available for France are way better than England's could have been. And Camavinga is arguably the poster child for that. Camavinga not starting for a squad after coming off a Champions League where he was one of the better players in that squad is crazy to me.
But Jack, I'm not gonna lie.
Adrien Rabiot starting over Camavinga
No,
makes
but
me
Jack, Adrien Rabiot this whole tournament.
He played well. Yeah, he played well. But we didn't get a chance to see what Camavinga would have done.
I get it, but people can also point to the Tunisia game where he came on and where he played and he wasn't amazing. But as I said, I do believe that he needs to find a way to be starting week in and week out because the guy's too good to be sent on the bench for Real Madrid week in and week out.
And James, Conte Pogba is over. It's over. It's over. Seriously, I'm not trying to say that just kick him to the curb. Kante has too many miles on his body clock, and Pogba is too busy dealing with witch doctors. Let's leave him alone.
Whoa. But Jack, let's just talk more about Argentina, and we can talk about Messi. But I want to talk about the players around Messi. Someone like Enzo Fernandez. On my days, Jack, the move that he's gonna get.
Yep.
Like he just won the player of the young player of the tournament. I think he plays for Benfica.
Benfica, yep.
Right now, I don't know if it's Liverpool.
Supposedly the deal's already been agreed. It depends who you trust, but my opinion is that Liverpool are going to have new owners. Enzo Fernandez is going to come through the door, and in the summer there's going to be a big 100 million plus push for Jude Bellingham. That's my belief. I don't know whether it's true, but that's my belief.
Jack, McAllister must be looking at himself right now and thinking, I got to go back to Brighton. I'm not going to lie, Jack.
And ask for a pay rise.
Listen, he's a World Cup winner, and if I'm Arsenal right now, get him.
Right.
Get him. Like seriously, he has been tremendous throughout this whole tournament. And Jack, a guy named McAllister,
boy from Brighton,
is going to win the World Cup, Jack. Big him up there. Christian
James,
Romero, I thought he was solid in the final.
The difference I think I noticed, just culturally speaking, with Argentina, Lautaro Martinez didn't start. Paulo Dybala did not start. All these guys who you would expect to start for a classic Argentinian team, Tevez, Aguero, Higuaín, like all these players who'd be like, just throw them in there, they'll outscore the opposition. Mm-hmm. This team, the approach was different. They 100%. Needed McAllister. They needed Enzo Fernandez. They needed Molina, right? They needed all these. They needed Marcos Acuna, right? They needed all these players to be able to do it because, James, the guys who are way more talented, who were on the bench, if they were on the pitch, France would have walked all over them. Again, it's the culture, it's the mentality change that led to them winning the World Cup.
Jack, it's not more talented, it's better known. The players who are more known. So we know about Lautaro.
I still think they're a bit more talented, but James, it's fit, it's balance, it's work rate. Again, I spoke to my housemate about this. I was watching the game with. Did McAllister, even in his contribution to the goal, did he do anything that made you go, wow, there's not many players in world football who could do that? No, but he did them. I gave the example of Paulo Dybala. If Paulo Dybala was in McAllister's position for that second goal, he would have tried to do something weird or creative or cool, and they wouldn't have had the goal. Di Maria would not have scored that goal. It was the fact McAllister was there, he's been coached right, he's been trained right, and he executed what he should have done. Argentina, there's enough Mavericks in the starting 11. There's enough. You don't need any more. You need people who can play the game properly.
Jack, I mean, there's so many subplots to this. We can talk more about Didier Deschamps and will he carry on for France? I think he should, but it looks like Zidane's going to come in. And we can talk about Argentina. But Jack, just based on this overall final, let's look at the World Cup in general, Jack. What's your opinion of this whole tournament from the way it started? People talking about Qatar's this, we can't have the World Cup, the winter time. How's this World Cup delivered, Jack, for you?
It's delivered. Again, I don't want to give Qatar any credit. you know, the judgments on women, the judgments on people of different sexualities to heterosexual, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff, those still remain the same regardless of the quality of the game. So like, let's not pretend that because the final was so great that, oh, we'll forgive Qatar for their, you know, indiscretions. But what I will say though is I didn't mind the Christmas World Cup. I like it over the summer. I didn't mind it over Christmas though. It's kind of nice. I've kind of forgotten that Christmas was coming. We're a week away here. And again, I still maintain. I think if this World Cup was held in any nation, we'd have been talking about one of the better World Cups in recent memory. I think there's been a beautiful blend of careers coming to an end, careers peaking, and careers starting. That's come at a really beautiful time for big nations. And James, 2026. I'm telling you now. I haven't got a clear winner for that World Cup just yet. I can think of a bunch of teams that will be in the conversation, but I think what we want from a world competition is that we have no idea who's going to win. That's the beauty of the tournament.
My pick was Brazil. It seems to be my
so
pick
was mine.
every single year. They obviously went out, but you mentioned one word there, or a sentence there. You mentioned end of an era. And to me, this is the end of an era for football. I think we've seen Ronaldo coming to the end, and it's a bit sad what's gone on there. Messi having a fairy tale.
Dealt with it horribly. You know? Yeah, Ronaldo has no grace at all. At all.
I'm talking about players like Lewandowski, players like Luis Suarez, Neymar. Will we ever see him in
Cavani? Right, even for smaller teams.
Cavani, Luka Modric. You know, so many
Legends.
players seems to be like their last chance. Bale, you know, their last chance in world football. And I remember watching 2008, and to me, this is the culmination of that 2008 chapter to now. This is the closing of it, and what a ride it's been. And my generation of football, to me, is done, and we've opened up a new generation of football, and Kylian Mbappe is, in my opinion, the head of it.
James, let's get Norway, seriously, like, let's get the Martin Odegaard, let's get the Erling Haaland, you know, Euros, World Cup, let's get that fire stoked up as well. Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, like, seriously, let's get these new names in. You know, it's the one thing with sport, it doesn't wait for anybody. I'm here.
100%, Jack. Jack said it, football doesn't wait for anybody. Some people just want to keep going on to the point of view, but sometimes Father Time waits for no one, and
it's true.
This is the end to me. An incredible and beautiful chapter of football that me and Jack have enjoyed so much, and it ends
privilege,
with the greatest player of this generation lifting the World Cup for his nation. People talk about Pele, the GOAT. People talk about Maradona, the GOAT. Our GOAT, and probably the GOAT for a lot of people. No, our GOAT, the GOAT.
Yes, yeah.
Lionel Messi ends this whole debate as he lifts up the World Cup. It's a glorious occasion.
Seriously, it's been emotional. I feel even a bit emotional now. When that final whistle went, I was tearing up, and honestly, it's hard to even talk about now because there've been so many moments and so many times, and I don't feel like I've given enough to deserve it. That's why it's such a privilege to witness it. It really is.
LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Federer.
Tiger Woods, we don't deserve it, man.
And beautiful stuff, beautiful. But I'm just gonna end it here, guys. I can say the like, share, and subscribe. You do what you want to do here. But Lionel Messi has just won a World Cup for Argentina, and Lionel Messi is now officially, in my opinion, in Jack's opinion, and everybody else's opinion right now, the greatest football
crowned
player
easily.
Ever lived. Messi, thank you. What a World Cup. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.